Welcome, Kim, to FastForward U's podcast. We're really excited to have you today. And today we're super excited because we're talking about nails, your salon, and how you guys have been since you've opened. So as always, Erica knows the first question I always ask everyone is to just kind of give us a background on who you are and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So I am a social entrepreneur, someone who cares deeply about driving impact in everything that we do. And so I've started some social enterprises in the past. I've worked at social enterprises, and I've consulted for a lot of social impact related companies as well. And so my background is in social entrepreneurship. I've done some project management, and I've worked at a few startups as well. So that's a bit about my overview, and I wanted to make sure that whatever I do full-time drives impact, which is why a lot of the vision for Topcoat is very impact related when it comes to the wellness of our employees and the wellness of our clients as well. And I'm happy to share more about that when we go into Topcoat.
Yeah, definitely. Can you give us a little bit of background on Topcoat and what it is, what makes it different?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So Topcoat is a non-toxic nail salon that's located in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. We actually opened this past July 2020. So we opened amidst the chaos of COVID-19. And Topcoat is very unique because we're prioritizing the wellness of not only our clients, but we're prioritizing the wellness of our employees as well. So what I mean by that is all of the products that we use in our salon, they're non-toxic. And what that looks like is that within the nail salon space, there are ingredients that are commonly used in nail products that are incredibly harsh. These are ingredients like formaldehyde, DBP, that have been linked to allergic reactions. They've been linked to some potential hormonal impacts as well. And so if that potential impact exists, we want to make sure that we're getting rid of that risk in our space. So we've gotten rid of the harshest chemicals commonly found in nail products. They're not in our space so that our clients are safe, so that our employees are safe. We've also built in ventilation to all of our manicure tables. We've built in ventilation to all of our pedicure chairs so that any fumes that are related to any of the products that we use, those are safely discharged outside. And we've been transparent with our clients and our team members as well that when you come into a nail salon, you're not going to have an experience that's 100% chemical free, because that just means that the polish won't stick, but you will have an experience that's going to be really safe. It's going to prioritize your wellness at the end of the day.
Awesome. And
yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about how you got into the nail industry in particular?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So my siblings and I actually started Topcoat. So Topcoat's founded by a group of Vietnamese American siblings who grew up in the nail salon industry. So from as early as I can remember, my Vietnamese immigrant parents came to the US and they had to figure out how to hustle. They had to figure out how to start a business as someone who doesn't know any English. And so they quickly learned how to do nails. And they opened up their own nail salon in New Jersey. They sold it, and they opened a new nail salon in Virginia. So as a kid, I remember being at the nail salon all the time. I remember being the receptionist. I remember my siblings learning how to paint nails, just not full-time, not as a job, just learning, because our parents did nails. And so of course, as a kid, you're gonna see your parents doing a job and you're gonna be very curious about it yourself. And so with that, some of my older siblings who I started Topcoat with, they've had decades of experience being licensed nail technicians. They know the latest trends in nail designs. They know like the back of their hand. And so we decided as siblings that we wanted to incorporate a lot of our knowledge about the nail salon industry. We wanted to incorporate our knowledge about what it looks like to run a successful business. And we wanted to essentially create a nail salon that's entirely different than what anyone has seen, that's really changing the perception of the nail salon space. Yeah, and so I think the last thing I want to touch on though too is like why the nail salon industry. What we started to see at siblings is that as a few of us got older, we kind of got jobs in tech. We got jobs in design. Some of my siblings, again, were still in the nail salon space, but the bulk of us were not. We kind of shied away from the nail salon industry. We shied away from the negative perception that's tied to nail salons, right? Kind of being toxic sometimes. And so what we wanted to do instead was we kind of wanted to take back that narrative a little bit. We wanted to reclaim a little bit of our story and be intentional about changing the perception that's behind nail salons and bringing an experience that's really special to the people of Baltimore as well.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm curious, what's it like working like with your siblings and having like a family kind of business?
That's a fantastic question. It's something that I'm constantly learning how to do better, right? Because anytime you're in an environment where you're working with family, it's a lot more complicated than it would be otherwise. So I would say there's a lot of pros. Pros being that the folks at the end of the day have your best interest in mind. Everyone is going towards the same goal. And so you're working with a team of individuals you can trust. And I think starting any company with a leadership team, with a group of individuals that you trust is key. And I know that because these are my siblings. I've grown up with them. So lots of pros there. I know how to work well with them because I've grown up with them. I think the biggest challenge is just communication styles, right? Everyone communicates a little bit differently. And so learning how to communicate well as founders and as siblings is the biggest challenge.
My question for you is like, how was the experience opening up during something like COVID? Because it's not normal. But how did that impact your grand opening and your business going forward, having a pandemic and having to worry about safety in that respect?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. It definitely impacted our grand opening. Normally with a grand opening, we would have loved to have done a big marketing push for a grand opening party, for this big launch where we invited a bunch of people to our space to experience it for the first time. So we couldn't do that. So we've had to be creative about marketing and figuring out how to let people know that we exist. We've had to be creative about kind of partnering with folks in the community. But I would say in terms of safety, we wanted to make sure that safety was at the forefront of everything that we do, because it's already been a forefront because we care a lot about people's health and wellness, which is why we're a non-toxic space. But we wanted to make sure that once people are in our space, we kept them as safe as possible and they felt as comfortable as possible. So we've taken very serious precautions to open up a nail salon safely during COVID. So as soon as anyone walks in, we take their temperature checks. That includes taking the temperature checks of both our clients as well as our team members. So when our team members start, we're also doing temperature checks for them. Folks are, there's hand sanitizer at every single station. There are acrylic shields up at every single station so that all the manicure tables, since you can't necessarily social distance 6 feet away, we have acrylic shields up so that everyone's incredibly safe there. And then every single surface is disinfected after each service. So all the pedicure chairs, all the manicure tables, and any high touch point surfaces. So let's say the doorknobs, let's say the sinks where clients go wash their hands, those are routinely disinfected just all the time. Our menus are disinfected as well. We just want to make sure that folks feel comfortable in our space and that they know that we're taking their safety very, very seriously.
That's amazing, honestly. And I give you kudos for that because I know that it can be really hard to balance that, but also balance the idea that the customers have coming in that they are going to be safe, especially if people are on different spectrums of how safe they feel during the pandemic. So that's really awesome that you guys are doing that. I'm excited for you guys, and I hope that you guys continue to grow. I think oh, you're welcome. The big ticket question that I have for you today is, you touched on you guys are different because of you focusing on giving a safe experience to your customers and trying to steer away from toxic traditional things that are in salons. Why do you think that that's not mainstream yet? Like, if you guys are able to do that, why do you think it's taken so long for other salons to catch up with that?
That's a fantastic question. I think the biggest thing is that folks don't know. There isn't a lot of knowledge and education and research that's been done around the nail salon space. And so folks aren't that familiar that a lot of the ingredients that are in their nail polishes are ingredients like formaldehyde, right? Which is used to preserve dead bodies. And so any product that you put on your fingernails has the potential to be absorbed into your skin as well. And so there's a need for folks to be more familiar and knowledgeable about some of the potential dangers with a lot of the products that we're using, a lot of the products that are used in the nail salon space as well. And so it's not necessarily a matter of folks not willing to want to have a non-toxic nail care experience. It's more so that there hasn't been a lot of widely spread information and knowledge about some of the dangers.
Yeah, I certainly didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same. And I don't think I've ever thought about it either. Do you think it will change going forward? Like, do you see this becoming a trend that salons will eventually take up?
I think that's a fantastic question. I definitely see it as a trend moving forward. It's so intentional for salons to be focused on the wellness of clients and the wellness of team members as well, but to also be sustainable. There's so much waste that happens in salons, and there's so many salons that don't necessarily care about kind of sustainable efforts as well. And so I think as we continue, I think moving forward, I think it's going to be a trend that we'll begin to see. We'll see more salons realizing how important it is to communicate to their customers that they care about them. Because customers want to walk into a space knowing that wherever they're going, people have their best interests in mind. And so I think more salons are going to see that that's really important and that's valuable. And more customers are going to want that, knowing that it's a possibility, knowing that they can walk into a salon that's going to be really safe for them. Of course, I can imagine customers are going to be wanting that.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask like kind of a more like businesswoman question in terms of like, you know, what's the most rewarding part of your business?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. There's probably a few things, but the one that comes to mind right now is I chatted with a few of our nail technicians, and I was learning more about their experience because they're working with clients every day, they're interacting with clients every day, and she shared such an incredible experience. She was talking with a client, and she was ready to tell the client all about our salon and provide the client an overview. And the client immediately was like, no, you don't have to. I know about it. I know that it's female founded. I know that you all are non-toxic. This salon is awesome. I've been following you all for so long. And so when I was chatting with the nail tech, she shared that she was like, yeah, I felt so empowered. I felt so empowered that I was working at a nail salon where people were so excited about the salon that I was at, and they were so excited about what we were doing. She was like, I've never had that experience before. I've never had someone kind of that excited and have that perception of nail salons. And I loved hearing that. I loved hearing that story. And so I think that's been one of the most rewarding things is that having Topcoat in Baltimore, having Topcoat in the Inner Harbor, we're able to be a key player in, again, reclaiming the narrative and changing how nail salons are perceived and changing what it looks like to get your nails done in a way that's safe.
Where do you see Topcoat going? Like, do you envision it being something that stays local but grows in the Baltimore community? Do you see it becoming a chain? What's your goals for the future of Topcoat?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. We'd love to continue to invest in the Baltimore community. So right now we have our initial location in Inner Harbor. We're potentially considering expanding and looking for another location in Baltimore City. We've been in Baltimore for the past 3 to 4 years. We've grown to love the city, love the genuine and contagious energy that's here as well. And so that's the plan. The plan is to continue to invest in Baltimore. We're also realizing though that we want to make sure that we're driving impact at scale. And so we're considering launching our own product line in the future, and we'd love to be able to create non-toxic products that are safe for individuals, but are also designed well. We have team members who have been doing nails for so long, so they know how to create they know what it looks like to have a polish bottle that's best for painting, and that's best for like the nail technician experience. And so we'd love to kind of essentially create a product line and scale the impact to more folks, even outside of Baltimore.
Yeah, I think that's also, like you said, important for like spreading awareness.
Do you ever find difficulty in finding the products that you guys currently use as far as like fitting your salon standards for creating a safe environment?
Yeah, great question. I think there were definitely challenges. It wasn't easy. I'd say that when it came to sourcing our products, we knew the list of ingredients that we didn't want to use. But one of the challenges we ran into was that the list of ingredients that are in nail products are not they're not widely disclosed. And so I had the hardest time tracking down the list of ingredients. I had to email a bunch of different companies multiple times. I had to hop on the phones with them and have them send me over a spreadsheet of what was in their products to make sure that the harshest ingredients were not used in any of our products. So yeah, in short, Carrie, it took a little bit of time, it took a little bit of tracking down to make sure we found the right products. But then once we found the right products, we had to test it as well. We had to test the effectiveness of it. Were these polishes that weren't going to trip, that weren't going to chip? Are they going to stay on nails for a long time? Did the color stay the same color, or did it fade very quickly? So there's definitely a decent amount of testing and QA that went into finding the right products as well.
But my last question for you is, what resources can our listeners access as far as going to Topcoat, visiting any sites or handles that you guys have so that they can access more information? What can they access to learn more about you and your business?
Yeah, of course. So folks can stay up to date with what's happening at Topcoat by following us on Instagram. Our handle is @TopcoatLovers. So I guess not it's just Topcoat Lovers. So if you search Topcoat Lovers, you'll find us. That's our handle on Instagram. We're always posting any discounts that we're offering, any fun promos that we're offering, just fun happy hours during the days of the week. We're posting new product launches on our Instagram as well. So we recently rolled out a new nail extension this past week on Monday called Gel X. The reason I'm so excited about Gel X is that it's a nail extension that's made out of purely gel polish. And the reason that it's so much better for you than any other nail extension out there is that it's a nail extension is a tip that is applied to the entire nail bed, so that as your nail bed's growing, it allows for safer nail growth. So it's so much safer for you. It's also thinner, it's more malleable, and so it looks more natural looking than any other nail extension. So that's something that we just offered. So you have to follow us on Instagram, Topcoat Lovers, to kind of stay up to date. Individuals can check us out on our website as well, which is mytopcoat.com. So mytopcoat.com will include information about our vision, our mission, our team. You can find out more about our services there. So our entire menu is listed, and we offer online bookings as well as bookings through the phone. So folks can make appointments online through our website, mytopcoat.com.
Thank you so much for being on our podcast episode today. We're really excited.